is the Bill Squire Show.
To the big issue seller, cause he's probably on heroin. I walk past him with a grin, and if I can, I kick his dog. No, I don't give to the busker. He's talentless and lazy. He's ruining the country. I think he should get a job. Instead I give my money to Walmart for its tax evasion, Primark for its child labour, Mexico for the next invasion. Don't give a fuck about you. Give my money to the millionaires. I give my money to the millionaires. I give all my money to millionaires, and I don't give a fuck about you.
All right. They give their money to the billionaires and the millionaires.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. It's what we do. Speaking of which, this is the Bill Squire Show. I'm here with Mary Santora.
Hello.
This is our 4th live show now, and they've been going really, really good. Yesterday we got a little Meripy out.
Yeah. I went home and I talked to my boyfriend about everything we talked about last night because I was like, am I a burden to you? Like, do you hate being with me? Because that seems to be the consensus from everybody reaching out to me on Instagram.
But they
It's
also
like,
don't see the other parts of the relationship.
Yeah, no, I know that.
So like they have a very they only know what you tell them.
Right. And well, he was on the same page with you where he was like, we can just do things together. It doesn't have to be such a big deal.
Yes, and
like,
that's
right,
kind of the
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Is like you're making these things into like, this is mine and only I get to have it. Where it can be like, hey, he can do it with you, and then it can just be nice.
Right. You can just have a good time.
And it doesn't have to be this big old issue.
Well, we talked a little bit off air, I guess, after the podcast, and we were like, how in my last relationship I lost all of my identity.
Yes.
So now I overcorrected, and I don't want to give up any of my identity. Where it's like, this is my stuff, and you can't have it.
But you can
know
also
what I mean?
learn how to share that identity.
Yes, that's where we're at. Is trying to find that middle ground.
where you're sharing your identity, you're not losing it, and then you're also adding new things to it.
Right.
Because it's always good to add to your repertoire.
Yeah.
But if you are just completely abandoning who you are to try and make somebody else happy, that's not okay.
Right.
And that's what you're afraid of happening again.
Correct.
Yes.
But yeah, we talked through it, and everybody. It's so funny because people are like, what would your boyfriend think if he heard this? And I'm like, you guys are acting like we don't have these conversations.
Right.
And like I'm an idiot who would get on the internet and spew a bunch of bullshit and then just expect that nobody would hear it. You know,
right?
What
And
I
be
mean?
like, oh, I didn't think you were gonna know about this.
Oh,
so even like
I
last
put
week
it
when
out in the world.
You talked about the ladder. I was like, I'm gonna post this clip. Just I don't think Brian's gonna see. You're like, oh, he already knows. I already got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's you guys gave all your Christmas presents early.
Yeah, that he
you got
didn't
that
like
Keurig.
that at all. That was my thing.
Why? Why don't you want to wait till Christmas to open your stuff?
I don't like putting a lot of pressure on a certain day because I feel like if you put
Christmas is the day for the pressure.
I know, but if you put a lot of pressure on Christmas and something goes wrong, you're like, no, but Christmas is ruined.
You
know
have
what
a very
I mean?
chaotic mind where you think things are going to go wrong all the time.
Because they statistically have. Every defense mechanism I have is because so many things have gone wrong in my life.
Yes, but you've changed so much in your life so things don't go wrong like that anymore.
Well, and it's not, I've never been the person where the day is not super important to me.
Yeah.
Like, we were hanging out, we both already had all the gifts, so I'm like, why are we waiting? What's the point?
All right, well, I'll give you
know
your
what I
birthday
mean?
present next year on June 6th.
Go ahead. I don't care. It's like, you know what? I don't know. It's just a weird thing, I guess.
Like,
it doesn't, he
my parents
likes,
got me something. I like to do it on Christmas just because,
He does
especially
too.
as you get older, you don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Like on Christmas. So, like, the more we can wait, and even just now, you
The
walked in
tradition
here.
of it.
Cody Poundcake dropped off presents for us.
I wanna open it.
He got, and you started opening it before you even, like you looked at me, you're like opening this as you're waving to me, basically. I'm like, can you just wait and we'll do it on the show at least? All right. So
well, I guess it's not, traditions like that are not a huge deal to me. like birthday stuff, it's cool to celebrate.
Yeah.
But I never had a birthday party growing up, and then I would celebrate with like dinner, and it doesn't have to be on the day of my birthday.
Right.
It's like if it's a week before or 2 weeks after. I feel the same way about Christmas, where it's like if we're together on the 22nd and we both have all of our gifts, why are we waiting another 3 days? What's the point?
Because you wait till Christmas.
Why? What's the difference? I want to do it now.
The difference is you do it on Christmas because then that's what you do on Christmas.
And because he said the same thing. He's like, so what do we do on Christmas? I'm like, we hang out, bake cookies. I don't know. Have a day.
But don't you dare try and watch It's a Wonderful Life. I'll cut you.
We're going to watch it. We made the plan to watch it together because he said
I'm going to write him a bunch of roast jokes for it.
Don't! Go through
so
and
he
watch
can just eviscerate that movie. And not even just like jokes, but like inaccuracies and like, you can see the boom here and this cut's wrong and this is, just all those little things just completely destroy that movie for you forever.
I was annoyed that he said pretty much all of the exact same things you said, and I was like, ugh.
He's a good guy.
I was like, ew.
He's a smart guy.
He's like Bill, my boyfriend. And then I was like, no, I think I'm the odd one out on this. Like, I think I'm the one who has the
you're
weird
the one
mentality.
that has the weird mentality when
Right.
it comes to that. Like, there's plenty of places where I have a weird point of view on things, but all the stuff you were saying yesterday, like, it is very obvious that you are holding on to something because there's some sort of walls up or whatever it is. But I appreciate you sharing it. I texted you earlier. I'm like, thanks for sharing it. It's one of those things that people then attack you for.
Oh my
and
God.
Be like, you don't even deserve to have love in your life.
That's exactly what it is. I'm like, one of our regular listeners to the Alan Cox shows messaged me on Instagram, was like, you're not the person I thought you were. I don't want to call you a bitch, but I could never imagine being with someone who didn't enjoy the things that I enjoy. I was like, so you just told me I'm a bitch who doesn't deserve love. Like, that's exactly what you just said. Like,
and
you're not the person I thought you were. Like, get out of my face.
Everybody creates this version of us that, that's why people, like the guy, we talked about this a few months ago on the Alan Cox show, where the guy messaged me. He's like, hey, I don't know anything about you. I just know what I know from the show, and it seems like I don't like you.
Yeah.
But I want to find out if I like you.
Yeah, and then he asked to see your stand-up.
Yeah, and then he listens to stand-up. He's like, oh, you're great.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's that. So people will kind of put us into these boxes. And we do this too with entertainers and stuff like that.
Does.
And then and that's why it's the whole thing, like, don't meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm. You have what your vision of them is, And then I'm explaining, I'm like, no, dude, I'm just broken. I'm not a bitch. I'm not some horrible
and you're not
witch
doing
who doesn't
it to hurt him.
No,
you're doing it to protect you.
Right. And I'm like, and those are things that I'm just trying to work through. That's all, man. I just have put up so many walls between relationships and hurting myself, being a drunk, and you know what I mean? So it's not that. And he's like, oh, just fine, I won't reach out anymore. I'm like, all right,
you can
I don't
still
know what you want
reach
me
out
to say.
people. He's got walls up too.
Yeah, right.
He's got some problems as well. I like, I messed with the lighting a little bit today, and it looks so much better on the camera. Okay. Because you're usually like washed out because
I'm so pale.
Because you're so pale, but these lights that over here, they like backlight you.
Yeah.
And so it just makes you look like a ghost.
I'm so grossly pale right now.
But you don't look that bad on the camera today because it's not. I think we're just going to keep those lights off from now on when
whatever
Alan's
you
in
gotta
here.
do, man.
So.
Yeah, I put a before and after of my Invisalign on my story. And the first picture's from August, and I'm just looking at because it's only my teeth, but I'm looking at the difference in the color of my face, and I'm like, oh, gross, dude. Like, is this just what I'm walking around looking like? And I know it's December
that's what everybody
in Ohio.
looks like in
I know.
December, and also the whole tan thing that people are obsessed with is very strange to me.
I like having a little bit of color. I don't like looking washed out like a ghost, like I'm malnourished all the time. You know what I mean? I don't want to look like the same color as the sky in Cleveland and
like
gray.
Some people are really like they go so far as to like have spray tan year round, or they'll tan year round, and like, I don't mind your skin looking the way it naturally looks.
See,
I think it's one of those things that is really, I don't know, it's just... It's creepy to me to be like, I gotta cook my skin a little bit.
Well, I was that way for a long time. I had a tanning package year round for up until a couple years ago. Like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was tanning all year round. And then I I just like the way that I look better. And it wasn't like a go overboard fake and bake orange. It was like I would go maybe twice a week just to keep
Getting a
whatever
little bit of color.
Keep whatever
Yeah.
color I had in the summer, just so
Yeah.
I don't look like this. But now I'm like, I'm not going in a tanning bed. Like, of the things I'll do with COVID, I go
Yeah.
out to eat every now and then, do shows if I feel safe. But like, that's like an enclosed. I know they clean them, but like that's like a.
Yeah, seems
Your
like a
ass
bad
gonna
idea.
be trapped by droplets.
I've always thought tanning beds were kind of gross anyway.
I mean, they're not. They clean them, but it's
I know
like
they do,
you're
but
in
you're
a
also
small little naked
like you
space.
worked in a tanning salon.
Yeah.
How thorough were you when you're cleaning them?
Well, I mean, it's just like cleaning anything else. You have a spray bottle, you wipe
it
spray
down
it
and
and
then-
wipe
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
then that's it.
Yeah,
You know what
so
I mean?
I don't know. It's just, not my thing. Never been that important
You
to
don't.
me.
Well, I guess guys. I don't know if guys feel. I feel prettier when I have a little bit of color.
Like if I have a tan, but I feel like it's like I like to earn my tan by going outside.
Well, yeah.
But like paying for a tan feels like, well, if I'm paying for it, I should just be the pale person that I am.
I was also talking about like being in a kind of a weird depressant. I can't friggin' talk today. Like a weird depression the last couple weeks, and I had a couple different people reach out to me on my story and were like, "You should try taking vitamin D pills because
You need more sunshine.
because it's a nutrient that your body needs, and
Yeah.
it doesn't just use it for like." It's not the only thing you're absorbing from the skin is your color. Like vitamin D is super important to your health and mental well-being, I guess. So I think I'm going to start doing that
There you go.
just to see. It can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Just take vitamins.
Vitamins are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I don't know enough about vitamins to be like take this one over this one, but I do know there's some that are crappier than others.
Yeah,
so
for
I
sure.
try and find some that aren't just like all like sawdust or whatever. All right. Do you want to open these presents
Yeah.
from Pound Cake? You go ahead. I imagine we got the same thing. Oh, look, this card's cute.
Ho, ho, ho.
Did you get the same card as me?
No.
No, mine's
Mine
like
says ho, ho, ho because I think he's calling me a hoe.
Mine's video games. Oh, he did a good job. Thanks for all your help this year. You're the best. Pound Cake.
Aw, Cody.
What'd you get?
Yeah. Thank you for being. I don't want to read it out loud. He's great. So happy about your success. And then Cheesecake Factory. Oh Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
In case I want to meet Baker Mayfield, and just a Visa gift card.
Okay.
Very sweet.
I got a Nike gift card. All right, now let's see how much he really likes you. How much is it?
Stop. What
Add
does
'em
it
up.
matter?
Add 'em up.
What does it matter?
Content.
$50.
$50. Oh, I got $25.
Oh, but my birthday. One of these is probably my birthday too.
Ah, there you go.
Because
All
he
right.
wasn't
He was
here.
about to get it from old Bill.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that one of these is from my birthday and one of them is from
Because he
Christmas.
didn't get you anything on your birthday yet.
Was he already out? My birthday's the 25th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Because we were
that makes
off for my
sense.
birthday because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then when we came back, I don't know that he came back because we were only on for those, God damn it, 2
And then
weeks.
there's a 12-pack of Mountain Dew with a card for
I wonder who
Alan.
that's for. Oh.
Yeah, so thank you, Pound Cake.
Should we
Thanks
shotgun all of them?
That would be so much. That's like the amount of pop I feel like I drank when I was a kid, though. When you go
Oh,
to a
yeah.
restaurant and you just keep getting
6
free
refills,
refills, and you're just
yeah.
like, and like now thinking about that, I'm like, that is insane. Like how
Oh,
I
yeah.
would eat as a like a kid.
Dude, adults do that.
Yeah.
When I would work in the restaurant, and
I do it as
people-
long as there's alcohol in it, but
Well, no,
they're not
people
free.
would, at lunch,
Yeah.
people would have like 4 Diet Cokes before their food came. And I'm like, how? Or any pop. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you even have enough room in your stomach with all that liquid to drink 4 pops and then have like another 2 or 3 with your meal? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's how I used to be, like because it would just get your money's worth.
Yeah.
So you get as many refills as you can. So you're just sucking it down.
I think it's the people who weren't allowed to have pop as a kid.
Well, we were
Where they're
allowed to
like,
have
"I'll have pop now."
That was just like the way you went out to eat.
But
It was
you-
like
you're
when
an
we go
adult.
out. No, I'm talking about like when I was a kid. This
Yeah,
is how
no,
we would do
all
it. Yeah.
kids do that. You're going to
Yeah.
drink as many. Before the waitress even is done
Yeah.
dropping the drinks off, you just drank all yours.
I was also, I never knew when I was going to get my next drink as a kid because you just go until like it's presented with you.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember ever being like, I'm going to make sure I have water with me.
No,
It's just
never.
like all of a sudden you're like, I'm so thirsty. It's
I've
been
never
hours.
this thirsty. Yeah. I can't breathe because my mouth is so dry. Yeah, for
I didn't know this was going to happen again.
Right.
I drank a bunch of liquid yesterday, and now here I am again, thirsty.
Yeah. When I go out to eat, I'll have like 2 or 3 iced teas. is usually if I'm having anything at all. And I don't really drink like iced tea out of a bottle. Like I won't get an iced tea from the gas station. But I do miss like fresh brewed iced tea that they have at restaurants.
Well,
and that would be something I would have maybe two, but then I start to get shaky. What?
You can make fresh brewed iced tea at your house.
In my Keurig now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got your Keurig. Did you figure out how to plug it in?
So I know how to plug it in.
Well, I mean, like, because you have this small kitchen with not a lot of room.
There's no counter space in my kitchen, and there's only one outlet.
Yes. And so I suggested...
What did you suggest?
An extension cord.
Oh, yes, but it's right next to the sink. So I don't want to run an extension cord behind the sink, and I got to wash dishes and stuff.
It'll be fine. It's rubber.
I know. It just makes me nervous.
It's rubber and plastic. Like, it's not going to... But, like, what are your other options?
So I might make a little coffee nook behind my table. There's not a lot of room, but like put a little like corner, because behind my table where like my cat food is right now, where her food and water is, there I can put like a little cabinet in the corner and then put the Keurig and like some coffee cups and then that would actually, if I put a cabinet there, it would take all the shit off of my cabinet or my counter space, because I have like bags of coffee and a popcorn tin that just don't fit anywhere else.
That's a good idea.
So I'm thinking if I can put extra storage and then have my Keurig and a couple coffee cups and then like the little K-cups on that low cabinet, that would be cute.
Yeah, I think that, and there's definitely like corner cabinets or like bar cart type things that you get to do that. And that's a good idea. But I think you should take your bringing glasses into the car to the next level and take your Keurig and set that up in your car.
How will I plug it in?
You'll get an adapter to plug into your cigarette lighter that will have like a plug on it.
Do they make 3-prong adapters?
Yes.
They make grounded adapters for your car.
I used to use that when I would like when I first started going on the road, I would like put my laptop in my passenger seat, and I had an adapter like that.
Wow, I didn't even know that they made those.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, any truck stop has them.
Nice.
So you get that, and then you just like, you have someone make you like a place that'll flatten out the seat, so it'll make it nice and flat.
Okay.
And boom, you got coffee in the car. Coffee to go.
Yeah, I can deliver it.
Yeah, and then you have it with you, and then you already have all the cups in there.
Yeah.
So it's good to go.
I'll need bigger cup holders for the mugs, though.
Okay.
Or I can just serve all my coffee in pint glasses.
That works. That'll be hard. It'll be hard to hold on to.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you get Mary's coffee car. You know?
You get a pint glass full of coffee and burnt fingers.
Burnt fingers, pint glass full of coffee, and no condiments, unless I bring a cooler with like cream in it.
Yeah, you can get a cooler that plugs in, and because it's usually got more than one outlet.
Why is my battery always dead?
Man, we went on vacation a few years ago, and it was when I was with Coco, and she had an electric blanket, and I rented like this big SUV because I took all my kids, and I took her and her kid. And then also one of my kids brought her boyfriend at the time. So there's like, it's like an 8-seater. It was an Expedition.
Yeah.
And the battery kept dying. And I thought they were like leaving their phones plugged in or something like that. And I couldn't figure it out. She had this electric blanket that plugs into your cigarette lighter. And that's what was killing the battery.
Dude.
And so
you complain. I mean,
I was so
you guys don't
annoyed.
complain, but like you say that I'm cold all the time. I don't take an electric blanket in the car with me.
Right. Well, she was definitely a freeze baby, but she's also like the tiniest
80
person.
pounds. Yeah.
She was so
for sure.
small. So I took the car. I'm like, this car just the battery keeps dying. They're like, well, we don't know what's going on. And then they gave me a Yukon instead, which was like a brand new Yukon.
That's awesome.
It was great. It's really that was a fun
She
trip.
spent an extra $5,000 on gas.
I mean, it was already expensive because I mean, it was Expedition and a Yukon. They have the same gas mileage basically.
0 miles per gallon.
Yeah, exactly. Where they're just like, well, you're going to put about 60 gallons in here and you're going to go about 80 miles.
Yeah, we I went and did shows in Florida with another comedian, and he rented a truck, and both of us were tight on money, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, we can't afford this car.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
I was so mad at him.
But he was just like, this is the car I wanted to have while I was down here, because he was like trying to...
Well, and he had been down there like a week extra than I had. I'm like, we're putting $75... But we didn't make any money at our gig, and now we're out $75 in gas because we drove from Fort Lauderdale or where the hell were we? Daytona Beach to Key West. It's like 9.5 hours. I'm like, do we have to stop 4 times for gas? Like, this is ridiculous. It's not a good travel car.
No.
If you have it and it's what you drive.
There's specific times when you need a truck.
Right.
And that's one of the things that makes me like crazy when you see someone that drives a truck just because they want to.
And
you're
people with trucks have money. Like, a truck is not a cheap car to have.
But then there's people that have a truck that don't have money,
Well,
but they
the
just
beat
want
up-
to. No, I'm talking like they just want to have the truck because they know it's some sort of like status thing.
Yeah.
And it's like manly or something. But they're not cheap cars to own.
No, not at all.
John Mulaney.
What a sad thing.
That's so sad.
It's such a bummer.
So I don't know how much you like. I'm a pretty big Mulaney fan. Like I think the guy is super funny. And I was reading about
Crazy
this article.
talented.
Crazy talented, and has had substance abuse problems pretty much his entire life. Like
He
he
talks
started
about
drinking when he was like 13, 14 years old.
He talks about that in his first special.
Yeah.
And he says, like, how New in Town, that's the name of
Yeah.
the special. He says, like, I don't drink because I used to drink a lot. And he
Yeah.
talks about being a blackout and, like, all those things and, like, tells all these stories. And, yeah, being, like, he was watching, like, an addiction show where, like, kids start drinking at 5 and, like,
Yeah.
how he related to that and stuff. But, yeah,
But
go
it's
ahead.
funny because he looks so mild-mannered.
Right.
Like, even before he was, like, the guy that was always in the suit, he just always looked like a, kind of a dorky dude.
Yeah.
And so when you find out that he had this other side of his personality that was so crazy, that was, like, drugs, like doing cocaine and, like, popping pills and
Yeah.
drinking alcohol, you're like, where's that guy? Like, I don't see him within you at all.
Well, that's the fun thing about addiction. Is that it's a real crapshoot. You can't.
There's his next album title.
The fun thing about addiction, you can't tell when somebody's an addict. They
Right.
could look totally normal, and it's
That kind of goes back to our conversation last week about looking the way your personality is. So, like,
right,
he looks the way his personality is now,
right.
but like the addiction thing never really came to the surface of his appearance.
Well, because I think people picture alcoholics or drug addicts as like homeless people, like run down, dirty, tired look, and not even that bad, but like drinking out of a bag or like with a needle in your arm.
There's
and
that,
like,
but then there's also like, he always seemed to have a haircut that was like a part,
Yeah,
like
no,
over
I
that.
get
So
it.
like, so I think there's things that go into it besides just those stereotypical things. I'm talking like
what I'm saying
like
is-
being like longer hair or like being more like kind of just like punk, or like he didn't have any of those other things. Like he wasn't trying to look like he was in Blink-182
Right.
when he was drinking like this. He was just like t-shirt and jeans and alcohol and cocaine.
Well, yeah, but there's so many people who look like him, like business
Yeah.
guys with a nice haircut and
Yeah,
a
yeah,
suit
yeah.
that bring in a coffee tumbler that's full of whiskey every day. And just because it's not a brown paper bag, like, sure, everybody brings in a coffy tumbler, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they're drinking 30 ounces of liquor. Like,
Damn.
there's so many people like that. I mean,
No,
I was doing that.
I guess I'm thinking more like at a younger age, you tend to act out in those ways with your appearance.
Okay.
And
yeah, I
that's
get
kinda
like
what
when
he
you
did
say he
too.
started acting or
Yeah.
drinking when he was 13. Yeah.
You'd think he'd like have like piercings or like tattoos, but he's just like, nope, just give me the drugs and the alcohol.
I drank a lot in high school, and I was like Little Miss honor student,
Yeah.
cheerleader, all that. I mean,
And that's the Jekyll and Hyde situation of it too, where you can live that dual life where you're partying, all that, but you get your work done so people leave you alone and they don't assume anything's wrong.
yeah. It's the same with like it's.
I can't even believe I can't imagine what I would have been like if I had drank alcohol in high school.
It's annoying. Everybody's annoying. Take a teenager and make them drunk. It's going to be annoying.
Well, I know,
And
like,
it's,
I know how it was the
drama
first time.
and, ugh.
Like I went to a few parties where people were drinking and like I saw like it didn't seem fun to me.
Looking back on it, it wasn't. Think of, anybody in the world want to be around a bunch of drunk 16-year-olds? No, you want to be around sober 16-year-olds. Like,
Wait, what? No. Did
That's
you say you don't want to be?
don't.
Okay,
I said,
yes,
would
I don't.
anybody
Yes,
want
I don't
to
want to
be
be around
them?
sober or drunk.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just annoying, and it's just drunk children thinking they're cool, and we would like party and make out, and it was just like juvenile high school bullshit. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, I was so immature at that time anyway that like putting alcohol into that mix would have made me very dangerous, I think.
Yeah.
And like dangerous to myself.
Yeah.
Where I would have like done stupid things and gotten hurt.
Well, and you were already
stuff
like
that.
sad and upset, and you
I
didn't
mean,
fit in with your church, and you know what I mean?
and it wasn't like, I mean, the sadness was there, but it was also like, I surrounded myself with people that made me happy. So like my friends that I'd hang out with at school, like we'd all just be funny all the time.
Yeah.
So like, but when we would like kind of venture into that world where people were drinking, they didn't seem fun to us because they were so annoying.
Yeah.
And like we're like, this is not, because
this
they didn't
what
know how to
drunk
handle it
is?
because it was just like, they
Drink
would
as
just
much as you can.
binge as much as you can.
Yeah.
So like within like 20, 30 minutes, they're puking and like blacked out, and we're like, oh, that's not fun.
When I saw the thing about John Mulaney, I got so sad immediately. I was with my boyfriend last night, and he was like, "What's going on?" I was like, I'm not going to say it was the pandemic that did it. You know what I mean? But
It kind of was, though.
yeah, but it's like there were a couple really dark times this year where if there was booze in my house, I would have drank it. Like I didn't go out to get it. I didn't
Right.
leave my house to go to the liquor store. But if there were a bottle of wine in my house, I absolutely would have drank it.
given in, yeah.
Because it just makes it's that Band-Aid, man. When you're struggling to stay sober every day and you're just trying, because that's a choice you have to make every single day, and some days are harder than others. There could be months at a time, years at a time where you don't even think about it, but then when you're someone like John Mulaney who's doing theaters and doing what you love, and then it all comes crashing down, and now you're just sitting in your apartment 24 hours a day with nowhere to go.
Well, that's why he took a job writing for Seth Meyers' show. And he was talking about that. He's like, I'm not a guy that you can leave it up to me and have things get done. He's like, I need a boss to tell me what to do and like
Right.
what to write, what to, you know, to have a deadline and have that schedule. And that was in an interview from a few weeks ago before this all came out, but that makes a lot of sense for that personality that he has. Whereas
Yeah.
like if he doesn't have someone like some sort of direction, it's just going to spiral very quickly.
Yeah, well, I think that's and I'm not going to talk like I know him, but based on like what he said in interviews and his stand-up, like binge
He doesn't
drinking,
deserve love.
Yes, he's difficult to be with, and a kind of a bitch. No, but like that's like a very characteristic of a binge drinker, where it's just like you go until you can't anymore, and if shit falls to the wayside, it does. You know,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, I don't have a
I'll
deadline.
pick up
for this,
the
or
pieces another
I'll figure
time.
it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this right now because this is what I want to do right now.
Right.
And then 3 days from now, I'll figure out what I missed.
Yeah,
You
that's what, and I feel like when you're younger and if you start drinking at a younger age, it's easier to have that mentality. Whereas, like, I started drinking when I already had some responsibility. So
Right.
yes, I absolutely have indulged too much on occasions, but it never was something that I could do like back to back to back to back because I had things that I had to get done, and I already had enough of an adult mentality that I was like, all right, these things are priority over this fun that I think I'm having.
Well, yeah, and the thing that sucks is that you go out because you want to have fun one night where
Yeah.
you're like, okay, tonight's gonna be fun. We're gonna go out. We're gonna get drunk. It's gonna be a good time, and then it slips away from you. You don't ever mean to go on a 4-day bender. You don't
Right.
start on Thursday thinking I'll wake up Monday morning. You know what I mean? Like you go on that bender, then you're hungover the next day. So then you have a hair of the dog, and it's so popularized by our culture where it's like, oh, brunch with a Bloody Mary, and like so you can.
Well, that's
you can
that's how you
explain
socialize and
validate
spend
it.
your weekend or your days off.
Well,
or,
and you can validate
Yeah.
it where it's like, oh, a mimosa, like it's like glamorized to do these things,
and then
so,
also you're getting back to a point where you're not super drunk, but you're just kind of even, which is normal to how people see you. So, and then, the drunkenness builds through the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's 5 p.m. and you're already teetering on a blackout. And then, you know what I mean? It's a self-perpetuating cycle that's
Yeah.
very difficult to break. And when I read that, I was like, man, I feel for him so hard, dude, because there was 2 specific times where I'm like, I was close.
Yeah.
And it's scary as hell because once you do fall back into it,
It feels like everything's undone.
it's not that
I mean, I know you haven't
No, you're
had
fine.
that, but like I just
I can't
imagine.
say what a relapse feels like because
Right.
I haven't. But
Well, Mary, do a little research.
no, but I'm saying that like knowing being a binge drinker that it wouldn't be one beer.
Yeah.
If I were to relapse, I would just like him. I would
Yeah.
end up in rehab.
Rehab, right.
Like it would be one of those where you think you can have one cute little glass of wine at dinner, or you just want to take the edge off. You want to have a few beers because you've been stressed out, and
I can relate that to eating. Because
yeah.
that's like when I'm strict on a diet, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got this under control. And then you have that cheat day and then you never go back.
exactly,
And that is-
exactly the same thing.
I think that's, the tough thing. You're like, all right, I'm going to do this one day where I can have what I want. And then I'm going to get back to what I was supposed to be doing. And then you just go, well, I'll Tuesday.
I'll start Monday, or I'll start the first of the year. Or, it's
so
it's easy to do that. Yeah, definitely. Would you say that's an addiction for you?
Food?
Yeah.
It's just not a healthy relationship that I have with it, because I always look like, we've talked about this before, where like food is such a treat for me.
Mm-hmm. It's your reward.
Like, it's my reward for like we've been learning all this new stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I've been here doing work, and then like I went home yesterday and I had to put my whole house back together. Mm-hmm. And so like by the time I got to sit down and eat, it was 9:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's reward time. Mm-hmm. And I didn't go crazy
I worked
last
hard
night.
all day. Yeah.
And I didn't go crazy yesterday, but that's like my mentality is like food isn't just sustenance. It's such a treat. It's such a reward. It's so like, and it makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Like I like sitting down and like taking my time and having a show on that I'm going to enjoy, and like in like having that ritual of it,
enjoying the process of it and the taste of it, all of that. I totally understand that. Yeah.
And I feel like it ebbs and flows with me. Like sometimes and the thing is too, I don't like, I like to eat healthy food too, but it's just right now it's been easier to just get like microwave meals and just have those.
Healthy food is getting your diet in order is so hard because it's time consuming. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's like if you're going to commit to cooking at home and keeping things healthy and eating salads and like those types
also the things that go on top of that, the doing the dishes and stuff like that, which I hate.
That's what I mean by time consuming.
Like I hate doing dishes.
Meal prepping is the best thing you can do if you want to like jumpstart a healthy cycle, because you're going to have 3 or 4 days worth of food ready to go. All you got to do is reheat it, but then now you have 3 or 4 days worth of Tupperware, and then the plates that you used.
I have 3 or 4 days worth of food that I'm well, I don't want to have that again.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult.
I've had enough of that. Mm-hmm. And when I've gone like real strict on diets and stuff like that, I can do very well. But like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, yes, you get healthier and you lose weight, but you also know there's other things, like your anxiety gets crazy bad.
Oh,
like
yeah.
When I don't eat like what when I'm hungry, like my anxiety's bad. I'm just kind of a mess of a person. You don't have it.
Well, and depending, there's right and wrong ways to do it. I'm not saying that you've done it wrong ways in the past.
I've done it right and wrong ways.
Right. Yeah. I have too. When you go, a lot of people will go on a super calorie restrictive diet.
Yeah.
And like your body needs about, you really shouldn't be going under 1,200 calories a day. Like that is the absolute minimum. And there's some diets out there that have you on like 700 calories a day.
I've done those.
And it's like your brain can't function like that. And like you said, that's when you start to get like, your body almost goes into survival mode because you're starving.
Even when I was like when I first started losing weight is when my ex-wife and I we walked. We'd walk like 7 miles a day. I'd go for like 15,000 steps, and then I would count my calories. And I got really, I got into a good routine, and I was doing pretty well with it. But the problem was it still, I still needed the food. I needed something like as a treat, and I didn't find the replacement for it when I was doing that.
Yeah.
And then like our relationship fell apart while we were doing that too. So like, and what was scary about that is it wasn't like this sad thing. It was just like we realized like without food and alcohol in our lives, we have just drifted apart.
Yeah.
And so it was like this really like clear thing where it's like, okay, you want this, I want this, and it's just not, we're not on the same page anymore. And so that was very like kind of, I don't know, it just was devastating.
And that'll trigger all of your behaviors where it's like, so then if, like you said, food is a comfort thing for you, when you're feeling sad or uncomfortable, you're going to go to what you know.
Right.
And that's, for me, it was drinking. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't feel okay with what's going on in my head right now, so I'm going to quiet it a little bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do that with food sometimes too, where it's like, I know I'm overeating. God, this is going to sound really sad. Like, I know I'm overeating, but feeling full at least feels good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
And some people don't have that. Like Alan always talks about how like feeling full is like the worst feeling for him. But for me, I'm like,
it's like a hug from the inside.
Yes, exactly. You're just like, I'm all full and I'm lethargic and I can finally like
just relax.
sit and relax and like let my body digest, or even if I have to like go for a walk afterwards, it's just that feeling of like I can't take any more of this one thing, so I've filled that sadness or that loneliness, that hole
void,
up.
yeah. That's very real.
And that's why, having like what's been very good for me this year is getting some hobbies, whether it's the shoes or the, Papa Shot and now the pool table, and even just
the dog.
The dog, yes. It's nice to have those other releases for me, because I'm just listening to a clip that was on the show before today where I was going to go on vacation by myself and I didn't know how to do it. I'm like, man, I was a mess right there.
Yeah.
Like I was so in my head, and it's like because I was so worried about everybody else in my life. And, it was a time when my kids were, one of my kids was like, tumultuous time, and we got through it all, but it was definitely like weighing on me to the point where like if I did anything for myself, it felt guilty.
Definitely. And all of those things can lead back to unhealthy behaviors,
Yeah. Well, this is what the Bill Squire show has been a lot of. It's like there's a lot of silliness, but it like if you go back to like the beginning episodes, it's a lot of therapy.
That's okay.
I know, I like it. I just understanding it. Like it's just one of those things that those are my favorite conversations to have with people
because they're real, and it's the shit that people want to talk about but are afraid to. Like admitting that you have. Not even an addiction, but like I don't know how to, not powerless. Like it's not like once you start eating, you can't stop or anything like that, but like an issue. Admitting you have any kind of an issue is very difficult for a lot of people, So I think that when they see it, it's easier to be like, oh, damn, I've been there.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break here in a minute, but before we do, I want to play a voicemail. Where is it? I got to do a little refresh here. And everybody, thank you so much. The support for these live shows while we've been off has been fantastic.
It's been awesome. And everybody's interacting and
really fun. And I appreciate it. So, and if you are watching and you haven't subscribed yet to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. It helps unlock other features because they like tiered things out where if I want to be able to embed this. But before we do it live, like I do with the Alan Cox Show, but I can't because I don't have enough subscribers yet. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 for that silly reason. All right, where is this? No, not that one. Here we go. All right, it's one of our favorite people. Now, was the person that was messaging you on Instagram, was it Dustin?
Yeah.
Okay. That's who we got a voicemail from.
Yeah, he commented in the chat, too. I don't know why she wouldn't say it was me.
Well, it's Dustin from Georgia. You bet your sweet ass I was going to call in. Hell, Mary's talking about me.
Hold on.
I don't know that that's coming through the...
It's not. I don't know.
Georgia. You
Hold
bet
on.
your sweet ass I was going to
Hold
call
on,
in.
Dustin.
Hell, Mary's talking about me. Don't want to say my name. And I'll try to be real fast. It ain't got a damn thing to do with love or walls. It has everything to do with,
All right. Let me start that over again. Sorry. We do have... my studio at home is a little more set up for this. Doing it here, I have to kind of do things more on the fly. So let's try it again. This is Dustin from Georgia.
Well, it's Dustin from Georgia. You bet your sweet ass I was going to call in. Hell, Mary's talking about me, but don't want to say my name. And I'll try to be real fast. It ain't got a damn thing to do with love or walls. It has everything to do with, sacrificing, for your loved one. Mary's saying that she will absolutely never go watch planes with her boyfriend again because she does not like it. It doesn't make a shit if it's the best thing in the world for him. She don't want to do it. She don't like doing it. Therefore, she will not do it. And I think that's unfair to him. And I think it's selfish as hell on her part. I mean, it has nothing to do with wall. I don't know where putting up a wall would have anything to do with that. But, who am I? I'm just a listener. Nothing more, nothing less.
This is what I mean when I say that he gets so offended so quickly, and it's like, oh, just
he's
dismiss
like you though.
me.
But
I know.
he wears his heart on his sleeve.
I understand that.
And so when he hears something that he doesn't like, he's got to express it. And that's
Here's
one of
what
the
it
reasons,
is
like,
about-
Dustin isn't my biggest fan, but I like Dustin.
No, he's a straight shooter.
He's very straight shooter.
And he's a no bullshit guy, and
But
it comes off as offensive sometimes.
But he also is like someone that, like, his experience is kind of his only guide, and I don't know how much he... And again, like, he is talking about here is like, you make sacrifices for other people.
I
Like, he's got
understand
that.
that.
But I think there's also some empathy that he misses sometimes.
Well, here's what it is. And it absolutely has everything to do with walls, because like Bill said, you guys only know what we tell you. And a lot of the times, as much as people think that all I do is talk about myself on the Alan Cox Show, there's so much more to the backstory that you don't know. Like when I mentioned completely losing myself in my last relationship, where like we only ever did the things that he wanted to do. If like that's it. I barely did stand up, and you can attest to that, Bill, where I was doing one show a month, maybe two.
Yeah.
If I got out once a week for an entire month, I would think I was doing some shit. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's that me putting up a wall there where I'm saying, okay, now I'm just not going to, if I don't get enjoyment from it, I'm not going to do it, because I was doing things that I hated because he liked them all the time for 4 years. I was like, I don't like this. I don't enjoy it. I don't care to do it. I don't like the people that we're doing it with, but this makes you happy, so I want to make you happy. So what I did is I went the 100% opposite way. I did a 180, and I said, okay, if I don't like it at all, I'm not doing it, because I don't want to do that again. I don't want to feel like I don't even know who I am anymore, and I'm pretending
Because
to be this person that I'm not just to make you happy.
Because you've made that sacrifice in the past where
And it
you weren't just
ruined
sacrificing
me.
part of your time or your effort. You were sacrificing
Who I was.
who you were, to a point where you lost who you were, and then you spent all these
I've
years
spent 4 friggin' years
figuring
coming
it
back
out again,
to it.
and then you go, oh, I don't want to lose that again. So you're very apprehensive to make those sacrifices again.
That's exactly. So it's not, I don't give a shit about you. I don't love you. I don't want to do what you want to do. I'm scared to lose myself again.
Yes.
That's what it is, because getting sober and doing the things that I've wanted to do over the last 4 years of being single, and actually it sounds so stupid when people say like, I didn't know the things that I liked anymore.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't done anything for
Right.
myself in so long.
So there it is.
So, Dustin, it's not because I don't deserve love and I'm a bitch and you didn't think I'm not who you thought I was.
Yeah, she's just a scared little baby.
Well, I'm a scared little baby. That's 100% what it is. I went one way. I was on this opposite end of the spectrum, and then now I'm on this opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm just trying to find out how to get
back
in the middle. Right.
Yeah. And that's, that's part of the process. And what's good is that you're with somebody that is understanding of that, because he's lived a life. He's been through enough that he knows. And I think also having a child and like knowing the most selfish existence is a child's existence, where they're like, it's all about me. It's all about me.
Well, and I've never, and for 4 years, I have not had to worry about one other person's thoughts or feelings. Or,
Right.
do you know what I mean? Like, to do completely my own thing for 4 years and figure out what I want to do, who I am, what I like, what I don't like, and being firm in those. It's important to me to be an individual. So I just have to wrap my mind around also doing other things or letting people do things with me without losing my individuality. That's
Yes.
all.
And you're aware of that.
No, and
so
I
now
know
that
that.
you're aware,
And then I get
you
annoyed.
get to move forward.
I get annoyed when I feel attacked, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
2, I don't feel like typing all this out on an Instagram message. 3, I'm not going to call you on the phone because you're a stranger. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's like when it comes to social media and like relating to people, like one thing that makes me nuts is when people will ask me questions that I've already answered a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So then you're just like, huh, like, well, last night I posted the picture of the pool table, and I put, here's the pool table. I'm happy about it. Papa Shot now lives in my bedroom in the caption. And then the first time someone wrote, where's the Papa Shot? I'm like, in the caption.
yeah, right.
It's all there.
Right.
I put it there because I knew you were going to ask me, and then you still asked me. And that makes me a little nuts. Like,
Because people don't read.
It's,
They're just going through and liking it and
Yeah.
commenting because, like,
but here's the thing is like, if you're commenting, I feel like take the time. Like, I kept it abrupt. I used
So
the
that you don't
Lely.
even have to
I used the
scroll down.
Lely to keep it abrupt.
Unbelievable.
All right, so let's do a quick
I
little
gotta
break.
pee, yeah.
And then when we come back, we'll talk more about how we're bad people trying to be better.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Bill Squire from the Dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit. That's the gang that I'm in, at Mr. Dave Hill, if you want to know more about it, if you want to join. The process to join the gang is pretty intense.
Pretty intense. I'm not even in the gang. I don't even know about this gang.
I mean, if you pay attention to Dave Hill on Instagram, you'll know about it. The Towny Punk's coming for you.
Oh, shit. I was supposed to beat you up in the parking lot at the fucking store.
But you didn't. And that's why you're not in the Dangerous Snakes Who Hate Bullshit.
Well, I'm sorry. My arms don't fit in all my jackets, so I couldn't go out. It was cold.
Fair. You know what? That is actually in the bylaws. It says if your arms don't fit in your jacket, then you have an excuse for not making it to the initiation, and you can be in the gang once you buy a shirt.
That's actually a real thing for me. Like, lady jackets? Fuck you. You are just like little stick arm noodle bitches.
Do you have big arms? Show me your guns.
Not today. Not in this shirt.
Why not?
Should I? Do you want
Yeah,
me to?
that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Here's the thing. When my girlfriend has a body, and sometimes she shows it to people, and then people go, look, oh, why is the girlfriend show her body? Because
I exist.
she's going to.
And I will not apologize for it.
All right. So let's see your arm. Your big arm that's not going to fit in a...
Okay, like, I
Cool.
don't know if you can see it, but like this,
Yeah, it looks a little...
it's taut. And this is okay. This is not a.
What's this top you're wearing?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
This is not about me trying to fucking say, oh, I'm such a hot fucking strong little slut. Fuck you. No, I have large arms because I carry sacks of fucking potatoes and flour, and I work fucking hard. So do you know how much 5 gallons of fryer oil feels like? It feels like a lot.
And now later I'm going to have to say that she's a hot little slut with big arms.
I have large muscles.
You do. You're very strong.
That's a muscle.
I know. It's a big muscle.
What are we supposed to talk about this time?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's the entirety of the next 10 days for me.
So Christmas is all a nightmare for you. Even though you bought me that tree. Because secretly you like Christmas.
Remember when you sent me that thing this morning that I never even acknowledged, saying something like, you don't have to... What did it say? You don't have to do everything for everyone else so you lose yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, hello.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fading away.
But you're not. What's that? What's your shirt say?
It says, what does it say? Am I supposed to read it? Is this a read out loud?
No, it's fine. People can read it if they want.
Can they even see it? Where's the thing?
They can see it, yeah.
I'm not
Well, because we have a little thing that tells us how much time we've been on, but they can see it.
You're welcome.
There's like a couple of weeks where I saw that a lot on Instagram.
It's that one that...
There's like a bunch of... I'm always looking for the Instagram hotties, and
Well, I
some of them
guess,
were
I guess we
those.
should say, because people listen and they don't use their eyes because they're trying to drive or something. But it says, come here, daddy. It's like part of the whole, if you've seen my butt on the internet, it says, yes, daddy, or whatever the fuck it says. But it's a top to that. But...
And then was the littler one that you got that was very small.
That one is a black, it's a black short sleeve shirt that one of my friends has an OnlyFans. I don't remember who. Sorry, everyone. But she has the same shirt.
You have a lot of friends. You have a lot of friends that have OnlyFans.
All
You have
right.
enough friends that have OnlyFans that you forget which one has the shirt that says, what did it say?
Yes, daddy.
Yes, daddy. That's a little clinky. A little creepy clinky right there.
Who's the one that likes the first time that I said yes, daddy?
Beth.
Beth. Your sister?
No!
Jesus Christ.
a friend. She used to work at a place that I would frequent regularly, and then she dated one of my friends.
All right,
and
Beth,
now we're
this
pals.
one's for you. Yes, Daddy. That's for you. Take it and save it and do what you do with it.
Wow.
Dirty or clean, I don't care.
What
What were we supposed to talk about? The Nightmare?
Nightmare Before Christmas, because I really love that movie.
Hi, that's me as a person.
Yours is Nightmare Before.
The next day.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it. No, you're great. I love you.
Stop saying that out loud.
I love you or you're great.
Both.
You like when I say I love you.
Mostly the one.
You're great.
Fuck off.
All right. So do you remember the first time you saw that movie? Also,
No.
do you remember the first time you used chopsticks?
Yes. Oh, we're gonna fucking
Finish that story.
schwink around. Okay. First time that I used chopsticks.
Oh, she had to take the sunglasses off, so you know it's serious.
It's at a restaurant that doesn't exist anymore. Shocking. If I work somewhere, they close.
So the first time you used chopsticks was as an adult?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
My mom did not eat, we don't have to talk about my childhood. That's a whole entire episode of things that people don't want to hear.
Not an episode, a whole season.
You're welcome. Pizza comes with weed. Even still, and I'm 27. First time I used chopsticks, I was like, how the fuck? Where? Who? What? Huh? I used one chopstick.
What was the place you worked at? You can say because it's closed now.
This is before I worked there, but it was at Noodle Cat on Euclid.
Uh-huh.
I swear.
I like that place. I like Noodle Cat.
I won't ruin your dreams.
It's not a dream. It's the past.
I won't ruin your past dreams.
I enjoyed it.
It was good, but it was...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good, not great. I get why it's closed.
Because of fucking... I don't...
All right, anyway, you use
We will have
chopsticks.
a time about that. I had 2 chopsticks in this hand, like my little chopstick hand, and I was like, how the fuck do I do this? What do I do? I don't know how to fucking motor skill. So I had a third. I used 3 chopsticks. And I was like, this is my Scoopy.
How do you even use? You're using 2 hands for your chopsticks?
Yes. Because I'm that disabled. That was the first time I used chopsticks.
Proud of you.
But I also didn't have to pay for my food, so it was fine.
Because she was wearing this top.
No, I worked...
Just let the joke land.
No, I won't. You're not welcome.
All right, that's all. Back to Mary and Bill. And we're back. All right, so thank you to everybody again that's watching, and I want to, let's play this real quick. Actually, I want to talk about this because it was part of my night last night.
Hey, how yin's doing in that? Steelers suck. Ben's old and can't throw anymore. But at least Juju is a TikTok star. So just wanted to congratulate you guys because the Browns are probably going to win the division now. Love you guys. Love what you're doing in the absence of Allen. And I may not agree with your preference on football teams, but I love the show. Bye.
Well, thank you, Nick. Every day. Count on that call from Nick.
He's a good guy.
And, I had the football game on last night.
I watched
while I
it.
I was putting my house back together. So
Yeah.
it's not completely done yet. So I got the back in August, I had some water damage that happened because of a leaky faucet. And so I had to get my floors redone, and they put a new toilet in because it destroyed the seal that the toilet had, and it was such an old toilet anyway that it made more sense to replace it. And they're also going to put in a new vanity, which I'm very excited about because right now it's just in my closet.
Yeah.
So it's there.
When you sent me
ready.
that video, I was like, what? Has that always been there? I was like, did he just have a sink in his closet?
They just can't take the other one out because they have to be able to shut the water off.
Yeah.
And they can't shut the water off unless you give them notice. And then the guy that's doing the job is going out of town. So January 4th, it'll finally all be done. And this happened August 1st that this flood happened. And so for it to finally be done. will be nice. So I'm excited about that, but I had to move some stuff around, and I had to put the Pop-A-Shot. Like, first of all, I had whatever energy I had when I took all the stuff out of my room. Like, there was a lot of adrenaline flowing.
Because you were excited.
It was excitement, but also I just, like, had to get it done.
Yeah.
And so, like, I got everything out, and it was, like, a breeze. But getting my king-size mattress back into my bedroom it was like... I wish it was filmed because it would not stay up. Like, I feel like when I moved it out, it was up on its side, and I just, like, slid it out, and it had no problem. But it kept flopping over, so I'm, like, trying to move. It's a heavy mattress. It's, like, a big... thick, heavy mattress, and every time I'd like start to push it, once I would fall, so like I'm doing it all by myself,
you're not big enough.
And the dog kept like whenever it would roll, like get vertical or horizontal enough, the dog would just jump on it and be like, "I'm on a bed.
Yeah.
This is nice."
Oh, no.
And so then I'm yelling at her, "Get off the goddamn bed, you idiot!" And I finally got it back in there, got everything put back together, and then I had to move the Pop-A-Shot into the bedroom, and I'm like, I think it'll fit. I don't think I have to take anything apart. Which is great because that's the kind of mentality that I have. If I don't have to take something apart, if I have to muscle it a little bit, I got muscles, some paint chips,
I don't feel
no
like
big deal.
this, yeah.
I don't feel like doing all that stuff. I can deal with those consequences. And I get it in there, and it's so close to fitting, but there are these crossbars that wouldn't allow it to fit. But I try, and like I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like I'm trying that, like I'm like standing basically inside the Pop-A-Shot, because it's like I tried every single angle that I could to get it in, and now I'm like sweaty, there's paint chips all over the floor. I'm just like defeated, and then I'm like, all right, fine, I'll get a tool and take it apart, which takes no time at all. But I feel, even though it's smarter and quicker to do it that way, it makes me feel defeated when I have to do that, when I'm not like, I can just do it without that. And I'm like, why didn't I just do this in the first place?
Yeah.
Why am I so arrogant and so stubborn when it comes to stupid stuff like that?
I hated reading in high school. I hated it. Okay. I just this year started reading for pleasure. Okay. At 31 years old, I hated reading. So what I would do, instead of reading the 100-page book that we had to write a report on, I would spend hours online looking for Cliff's Notes or someone else who had already written about that book.
So like the
or
same
whatever.
amount of energy.
It would have taken me less time to just read the friggin' book and write about it, and then actually have an original thought and get a good grade on the paper. It's why I hated English so much. It's not that I couldn't read, I just didn't like it. I thought it was boring, put me to sleep. But it's the same kind of mentality.
It's exactly the same.
I would rather spend 4 hours trying to figure out an easier way to do a 2-hour task.
And
I
the
don't
dumbest
know.
thing.
It's so dumb.
And
you're in the
like,
middle of it, like there's got to be an easier way to do this. But then I'm like, I already put this much time into it. Like I'm not turning around now.
But I got in there, and then like I'm like, all right, I got it in here. And then while I was trying to put it in there, I cut the wire for the plug, so I can't even play it right now. So I have to get a new plug for it, which is not that big of a deal. I could probably honestly,
that sucks.
I could probably fix it, but it was just one of those things where like, what's wrong with you? What like I was excited that I finally got it in there, but then all the shame washes over you. Like, you're like, what is wrong with you?
I felt
you
like,
know how to do this. You put this thing together. It doesn't take that long. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
You have to take off 6 bolts, and you could get it through this doorway, and you're just like, let me just do it my own way. And you're just like, God damn it, you're stupid.
I don't know if it's a stupidity thing. It's probably a laziness thing. Where you
but
think
it's lazy,
it's going to
but
be easier.
Yeah, you think it's going to be easier.
Because I did this this morning at 6 a.m. because ever since Bozo upped the charge on the washer and dryer, I've been doing laundry at my boyfriend's place. So when I go over there, I'll take like a load of laundry or whatever. And last night I took like my sheets and my bedding.
Yeah.
And so I had it in a garbage bag. Because I have clothes I only have one laundry basket, okay? So I just had them in a garbage bag. So I've got this like heavy garbage bag on my arm. He bought me a Keurig, so I've got like a Keurig under the one arm, this garbage bag full of clothes on the other, and then I had like an overnight bag, and then I had my purse, and I had like my water bottle in my hand and my keys, and I'm like trying to open my door to get up to my apartment because I didn't want to make a second trip down to my car. But I'm like, I know I don't have enough, not even strength, I don't have enough like balance to carry all these things. And then I like dropped my keys when I was trying to get them in the door, and I had to set everything down anyway. And it was just like, you just think it's going to be, instead of just accepting the fact, okay, I'm going to do this in 2 trips. Or fine, I don't want to get my tools out, I'm going to go get my tools out. It's just, I don't know
just
what
get the
that
tools
is.
out in the first place.
Right.
Get the tools out in the first place, rather than think that you can, I got tape measures all over the place because I was getting ready to get the pool table in. I could have measured and been like, all right, it's not going to fit that way.
Right.
I'll take these 2 bars off. Slides right through.
Yep.
Ugh, so stupid.
No, I definitely get it. I don't know if there's something exciting about finding a shortcut
Yeah, I think so.
where you like feel like you're getting away with
Yeah,
something.
like you're able to do it. Like, and it's also just, I think there's a laziness thing that comes into it too, especially because that was the last thing that I had to move.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be done.
Yeah.
And then it just made it, even harder. And then I had to clean up the paint chips.
Yeah,
and
and then
stuff
you're
like
annoyed that. You're so stupid,
Yeah,
and you're like,
and-
now my walls are
ugh.
fucked up. Yeah,
It was just the doorway but that's like
they have to
that's-
paint anyway when you. Oh, well, you bought the house. I
bought
always
it, yeah.
forget about that. I'm like, they have to.
But I'll
paint
paint
anyway.
it
Yeah.
anyway. I'm probably gonna paint it soon anyway.
Feeling like
Anyway.
Anyway. Feeling like you're getting away with something on that note. We were Christmas shopping the other day, and the line in Target was. It's the Target in Fairview Park. Is the one like Rocky River Fairview Park.
Oh man, I was there a month ago, and the line was like
Dude.
down to almost the electronics section.
It was past that. It wraps around. So when you walk in the door, and to your right is where the lines are, okay? And then they make you go straight, like past the clothes, and then you turn right and you go into like the electronics, right? So the lines, from where the lines were, it was all the way down to like where the greeting cards are, back to the back of the store, wrapped around the girls' clothing, and was coming back up toward the front door, is where the
Jesus.
line was at Target on Sunday. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're going to be standing, and I understand it's a couple days before Christmas. We knew what we were getting into going
And
in. I
also,
totally get that.
lines are deceiving right now because they're very spaced out
And the
lines.
distance.
Yes.
And yeah, not everybody had carts full of stuff. I
Right.
totally.
Yeah.
But we're looking at it. I'm like, I'm not waiting this line. And so we were like dicking around in the electronics section because I had jokingly mentioned that I wanted an Apple Watch for Christmas. I would never expect him to spend that kind of money ever. And I don't know that I even really want an Apple Watch, to be honest with you. When he was asking me what I wanted, I was like, oh, I want an Apple Watch or an iPad, like just being obnoxious and naming expensive things. I would not have been okay if he actually bought me one. But we were like looking at them, and there was a kid standing behind the register doing nothing. And I was like, are you allowed to check us out here? And he like looked in our cart. He's like, yeah, I'll check you out. And I was like, I felt like
That's the best.
I
That's like
was
when
like,
you can
get
check
the
out at
hell-
the pharmacy as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god. So like we started. I was like, right?
Yeah.
He looks at
Don't-
me. He's like,
don't
what do you,
call any
That's
attention.
exactly what I said. I
Just
was
act
like, don't
normal. Act
just
natural.
Slowly put
Yeah.
our things up here.
And then like if anybody's like, can you get checked out here? Just be like, yes.
but I
you
felt
can't.
bad for the kid. I was like, I don't want to get this kid in trouble because I definitely don't think he's supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? Like checking out a cart full of stuff when we didn't even buy anything from the electronics section.
I think it's one of those things where as long as you don't have certain items, I don't
Yeah.
think they're allowed to do like produce or anything like
Or
that.
like booze or something.
Booze, but like it's like if
It
it's
was just toys. Like, yeah, that's all it was. So he's like
I
checking
mean, that's
us out.
adjacent, so it's fine.
Right. So he's like checking us out and we're like looking at each other. I was nervous because I didn't want the kid to get yelled at.
Yeah.
I didn't want his manager to come over and be like, you're not allowed, I mean, I didn't want him to get in trouble. But then like as we're doing it, a line started to form behind us. Like there was like 4 or 5 people behind us, and I could see that he knew he made a mistake.
Yeah.
Like he felt like you did, trying to shove the Papa Shot in, where he's
Yeah.
like, "What did I just get myself
I
into?"
can sneak one couple through real fast. And then nope.
Because he wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything anyway, so he
Yeah.
was probably like, "Oh, sure, yeah, I got 10 minutes, I'll do this." And then like he saw the line start to form, and he had that same recognition
Yeah.
where he's like, "If I would have just said no, like I was supposed to, I wouldn't be in this situation right now." It felt good though,
Good
because
for
I was
him though,
like,
because you got what you wanted out of it.
well, I just didn't want him to get yelled at, or
But you got checked
yes,
out.
we got checked out and
Yeah.
walked right out, and it was awesome. But then there was like 4 people behind us, like, just keep moving, don't pay any attention, don't look anybody in the eye.
That's the before times. We're living in the after times. You know? That's living in the past.
Right.
Those are their responsibility. We don't have anything to do with that. That was his decision to do such a thing. So you mentioned the Apple Watch. There's a story that it goes around, especially like, I'll see the stuff that they send to the stations to post. And this was one that caught my eye because Jane Slater, who is an NFL reporter, correspondent, tells a story on Twitter about how she and her boyfriend got each other Fitbits for Christmas one year. And then that's how she figured out that he was cheating on her.
Okay.
Because they were synced up together, so like you could see their activity. And she's like, I don't think he was at an Orange Theory class at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
See that activity, like the heart rate
Yeah,
jump.
the 475 or whatever.
And
that's crazy.
But that's the technological world that we're living in. I actually used to have a bit about that where it's like when guys cheat, it's like they want the physical aspect of it. When girls cheat, they're looking more for the
emotional part
of it.
Well, and it's not necessarily, it's whatever you're missing.
Yeah.
I think you could be a guy and not have the emotional connection
part,
you want, or be a woman who's not getting the sexual connection she needs. I think you're just looking for whatever's missing, yeah.
But the punchline was like women play it out in their head like where it's going to be this like magical like getaway where they meet somebody that's just sweeping them off their feet, but really they just reconnect with somebody from like college or high school, and then they meet in the Metro Park and fuck in a chemical toilet.
Right. Yeah.
And then he's like, I got my steps in today because she got a Fitbit, but it's like, it all ties together.
Dude.
Yeah.
What a way to find that out.
I know, right? I mean, I've had situations like that where I've been like, well, you know, having someone, that's why I like less knowledge is more. Mm-hmm. Because I've been in the position where like you see someone's phone and you know where it's at and you're like, that's not where they said they were.
Right.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, it's just a bad feeling.
No, it sucks.
Yeah.
And then when that trust is broken, they're like, well, now I have to look through it. Like, now I have to know where they are or whatever.
Yeah. Like once there's a girl that I was with and she was on her way home and then she got off the highway. Like I was watching this all happen. And she like went in a loop.
Did she have like her location on or something?
Yeah, and like she went in a loop, went back to this spot, and then came home. And it was like, I'm like, so what was that about? And she's just like, oh, I'm like, that was hinky. Like that was a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
And she had no explanation for it.
Yeah.
Other than like this is just something she was doing.
Yeah. When my last dude, I found out he was cheating on me because he's an idiot, one. And two, he cheated on me with somebody that I had known since I was like 14 years old. And so when she mysteriously blocked me on Facebook, Instagram, and everything, and I couldn't even search for her anymore, but her name would pop up on like mutual friends stuff. I'm like, hey, I know you guys work together. You sleeping together? Like, you haven't been coming home. And he was just, what? No, what are you talking about? No, I was like, hey, idiot. We went to middle school together. Like, I know this girl. Like, is that, you can just say it. You don't have to continue the lie. You're caught.
Yeah.
Like, why else would someone that I've known since 6th grade all of a sudden block me on everything when you guys started working together?
And this is before you posted all the food pics and got all political.
Right, obviously. This wasn't about French toast, you know?
This isn't about Black Lives Matter.
It's just funny to me when people are caught and then they still try to
explain it away.
Oh no, that was just
I mean, I've been on both sides of it too,
Yeah.
where you're just trying to come up with something and you're just like, I got nothing here.
It started raining and I
nothing.
didn't have a coat on,
Yeah.
so I had to turn around.
So I had to
You're like,
put my
what?
dick in her.
Yeah, right. What are you talking about, man?
And that's also like because my first like serious relationship was my marriage. Mm-hmm. You realize how not ready for that you were.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh man, I'm so far into this, and now I've made this decision that I shouldn't have made, but because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, and then you end up, and that's when you're talking about your walls, that's why I have a lot of the things that I have where like
with like marriage.
don't do some marriage or like anything like. This is what people do or this is what you're supposed to do. That's never how I look at things because most of the times when I did that in the past, it was catastrophic.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of relearning how to be a little bit more normal because I go, okay, it was catastrophic because I wasn't prepared for it. Mm-hmm. But if I prepare myself for it and do it right, then I'll be in a much better position.
Yeah.
Or a better place. So don't let those sins of the past inform your future.
Right. Do you feel excitement? Because I know that I do feel excitement about like this generation being so accepting of like alternative lifestyles where it's like you don't have to get married. You don't have to own a home and have a kid by the time you're 22. Like
having the blended families, having
I love
family who's
that.
you make it.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that.
Because I think it's so important to take that pressure off people because then what ends up happening is you're like, oh, I've been dating this person for a couple years and I don't really know that I love him like this, but it's time. Like this is what happens next is we get married and then we have a kid. And then that's why so many people get divorced is because it's like you just feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, and
you end up with the wrong person or in the wrong situation.
That was a thing that ended up being part of the reason when Sam broke up with me in the summertime is because she thought we were going down that track of like normalness and like
Moving in together.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never needed you to move in with me. All I needed you to do is tell me what's going on in your head. And so then she's like, oh, so I can just say I'm gonna go home.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
go home.
Yeah.
It's fine. We hadn't even been dating a year at that point, so it's not like I was like, and I suggested, I'm like, hey, this is something that I would discuss with you if you want to discuss it with me, you possibly moving in. But it's not something that I'm like asking you, like trying to make a romantic gesture, like,
Right.
will you move in with me? And
Right,
then you
right,
feel some
right.
sort of obligation.
Right.
That's not the responsible way to do it. I think it's when we're both ready, we say, hey, let's make this decision together and see if it's the right move for us. And it's not the right move for us right now. And that's why I got a pool table.
Hell yeah. I think of it like moving in. I think of it as like kind of like I did with quitting my day job, where it's like I don't feel like that's something you do until it's more of an annoyance not to.
Right.
Like I didn't quit my bartending job until it got in the way of doing comedy and radio. So like that's when it's more annoying to live in two places, whatever is going on in your life. You know what I mean? When it's more of a burden to have separate things, separate places or whatever, that's when you start to have the conversation. I'm like, oh, okay, like this, we're already kind of doing it anyway. What do you know what I mean?
Let's
like,
make it
official.
But, and the reason that we were even that close to talking about it is because she spent so much time with me during, lockdown and everything. And that put everybody in a weird headspace.
It put everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And it's like this year has been so eye-opening, I think, to a lot of people about what their likes and wants and needs are. And it's kind of, one of the side benefits of it. Like, yes, there's a lot of terrible things that happen, but I think it's given a lot of people some perspective.
I think it forced people to talk about things they wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an out. There were no outs. You couldn't just go to the bar and grab drinks with a friend, or you couldn't go anywhere.
Or if you are that person that has made that decision to go and do those things, you have to live with that and be like, I
guess I was talking about lockdown.
People,
yeah. Where it's like people who never communicated. I guess you could just start remodeling your house. I know a lot of people did that.
A lot of people did that.
Screw this, I'm gonna build a deck because I got to get outside.
I saw a lot of relationships end because them spending that much time together.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this isn't working.
Yeah.
We have very, very different ideas of how things should be. And so it was probably a relief for some people to get out of those situations.
Yeah, or it something like a relationship that was okay that would have lasted 2 years only made it 8 months.
Right.
Yeah. I get that.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap this episode up just because I got to go be Santa for my niece.
Oh, that'll be so fun.
So I'm gonna get all Santa'd up, and a few other people are in on it too, but I'm going to do it over Zoom for a few people. So,
that's great. How fun.
It'll be a
Very,
good
very
time.
cool.
So thank you guys all so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the podcast on iHeartRadio as well. I post them every day after the show's over. And then follow me on Instagram at Bill Squire. Mary
Santora Comedy. I'm very excited. I'm going to post a picture to my feed later, but I put a progress picture of my Invisalign up today. And it's the first time I've ever put any before and afters together. I've been purposefully waiting because I feel like if you do it too often, you won't see it.
Yeah.
So I've waited. I'm about...
You're almost 3 months in.
No, I'm more than 3.
I thought you said today you're 3 months.
No,
4
a third
months.
of the way.
Third of the way. Okay.
Yeah. So
a third of the way.
It's about 4, almost 5 months. So it's pretty exciting.
And also, Mary and I will be at Hilarities tomorrow.
Yes.
The 23rd. The comics come home. I'm going to be hosting it. Mary's going to be one of the comics coming home. And it's
my travels.
It's one of the funnest shows that Hilarities does, and it's a good time. So come out to that and get tickets at hilarities.com. And that's all. Let me bring up the music here so I'm prepared. Okay, come on. There you go. And that's it. Bye-bye.
This is the Bill Squire Show.